your right, like your relationship with how hard do you push yourself? And like sometimes we need to. And also, do you know when to like step back and really enjoy and savor the parts of your practice? Right? Right. So bottoms of the feet together, knees open wide, and then interlacing the hands behind the back of your head. And then just close your eyes. And so what I mean about this relationship is because things that I really enjoy, I want them to go slowly. And things that I'm not enjoying so much, I want them to go quickly. And so the idea is as we do this core stuff, can we really learn to savor, right, or grow from the entire experience? So let's take a long inhale here. And just exhale for one. Remembering that our exhales start to let us to pull into the core. Inhale. So slowing down the breath as we exhale. So the breath will both make the core work deeper, but the breath will also help us to be able to sustain the work for longer. It's supportive. One more together. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so we're gonna do like our Bakasana sit-up. So you inhale, and as you exhale, pick up the feet, pick up the hips, and tap your knees to your triceps. Good. So it's like a Bakasana sit-up, and then lower that back down. Inhale. So I really try to focus on how the breath both supports and deepens the practice. Exhale, curl up, knees to triceps. Nice, Maria. For two, let's continue. Breathe in and breathe out. So, like I was saying, in this training, I've been noticing how people try to really use momentum. They try to go faster than my count, right? Thinking that it will like get over with sooner instead of just really kind of learning through the whole process. Feet down, knees wide, inhale, exhale, that's five. And so we should start to feel a little bit of heat start to creep into the lower abdominals. And we're gonna go for three. And when it goes slow, you guys, that's when I can actually really notice a difference. Lower abdominals working for two. And then one more, please squeeze that all the way up and release. Keep your feet together. Pick your feet up, interlace your fingers over the pinky edge sides of your feet. And with your knees wide, tell them to take your knees on the outside edges of your elbows. Think of it almost like when we're seated and we take like a Baddha Konasana, right? Like we bend our elbows and we pull the pinky edge sides of the feet in towards the belly button. And as you pull the feet together and in towards the belly button, you can let your knees hinge open wide, right? So I said we will do some work. There'll be a little bit of effort, a little bit of maybe like sensation, and then hopefully a little bit of like sweetness as you stretch out that work. Inhale and exhale. Release, feet back down onto the mat, and then you're gonna roll to your right hand side, bringing your left knee on top of your right. Okay, good. And then from there, please come up onto your right forearm. Okay, left elbow bends, hold the back of your head, and this is gonna be our work. You're gonna lift the bottom right hip as you kick the left leg up and out. So starting to strengthen the outer right hip, and then release, tap, touch. Inhale, trying to keep the chest open, and press up, kick out. I like to press my head into my hand. Great, you guys. So continue here. This should be firming and strengthening the outer hips, which gives more extension to the legs, and then really deep breathing. So I'm gonna kind of really challenge, not you guys, but challenge myself to go a little bit slower today to try to not to like rush through this work. So there's gonna be no jumping today. We're gonna keep it pretty stable, pushing the floor with the knee and with the elbow. And you have two more. We drop on the inhale, exhale. So you're strengthening your right shoulder, you're strengthening the right obliques and the outer right hip. Last one, push the floor away from you as you kick up. Very nice. Let your knees come together and then roll back down onto your upper back, knees wide, interlacing the hands behind the back of your head. Inhale and exhale. Please lift up the hips, lift up the head, and crunch in. Top touch. One. Inhale. I really try to push my low back down into the mat and curl the rest of the spine away from the floor. And we're going to go 3. Okay, it's actually kind of amazing to me how much if I really exhale, 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 if I find the bottom of that exhale, it's actually very supportive to the abdominal wall. Inhale. And last one, can you get your knees into your armpits as you pick that all the way up? And release. Keep the feet together. Pick up the feet, interlace your fingers on the pinky edge sides of your feet, pulling it in. And then as you hold the pinky edge sides of your feet, happy baby pose, stacking your heels over your knees and enjoying a stretch there as you press your inner sitting bones, your inner thighs, and your inner knees apart. So trying to get you guys to do some work and then a little softening. Maybe you close your eyes. I like to pull down from my heels into my knees. And at the same time, really simultaneously press the back of your hips into the mat. Inhale. And exhale, release the feet back down. And then you're going to roll to the opposite side. So you're going to stack right hip on top of left, come up onto that forearm. Good. Yep. And then bending the elbow, hold the back of the head and really work on strengthening, you guys. This is the lateral side of your body and press up. So I think you guys are still kind of like getting settled into your practice, maybe noticing how much you find it to be true when you like something, right? When I'm enjoying time with like my friends and family, I want the time to go slowly. When I'm on vacation, I want it to go slowly. When it's things we don't like, we want it to go quickly. So really trying to find like an equanimity, right? Like a balance. We don't have a preference. Just kind of stay here, do the work. Inhale, kick up. Exhale, lower. Let's keep the shoulder blades together. And we're going to go for 3. Release. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, squeeze at the top. Can you lift the leg any higher? One more. Inhale. And exhale, kicking that all the way up to release. Come back to center. And then step the feet into the mat. Feet hip width distance apart. Good. Come to lie all the way down. Pressing the palms of your hands into the mat. Here's our movement with the feet hip width distance apart. Lift the hips up, coming into a bridge pose. So pressing the palms down, press the shoulders down. And I was doing this before class, noticing actually how much my triceps work as I really try to push my hands into the mat. And then lower your hips down and then extend your legs up towards the ceiling. Can you roll all the way up onto your shoulders? Good. So that's a lot of lower abdominals. And then how much time, really using your triceps, can you take to lower your upper back, mid back, low back, controlling, and then bending the knees and stepping the feet into the mat. So it's kind of nice that like we're this small group here today, you guys. I think, right? We can just take our time. We're not trying to rush. Work your own core, really controlling here. So hips up, bridge pose. It should give you some nice power through your hamstrings, through your glutes, your butt muscles, and into your low back. And then lower your hips down. Extend your legs up. And instead of trying to use momentum, could you press up into that unsupported shoulder stand? I like to look at my toes. I like to activate my legs. And then this is where I find the really good work is using my hands pressing into the mat to start to lower upper back, mid back. And I notice where I like to rush, what I like to skip through. Can I make it equal through the entire spine? And we have really nice, you guys, we're gonna do two more. Take your time, hips up. Okay, so usually the slower we go, the more control we have, and we activate some smaller muscle groups. So lower the hips down after bridge pose, and then extend your legs out first. I like to straighten my legs here and then push. And imagine someone standing there and pulling your feet up towards the ceiling. Excellent, you guys, as you control that. And then lower back down, articulating each vertebra. Nice job. Settle it into the mat. When the hips touch, the knees bend, press the feet. Very good. One more time. Lift the hips up, bridge pose. Maybe you can press and tuck your shoulders under slightly deeper. Inhale, open. Exhale, lower the pelvis all the way down. I like to extend my legs first. I like to straighten them here and then press into the hands. Nice job. And lift all the way up to center. Lower. Feel the triceps. Press the elbows down. Press the forearms down. Press the hands down as you fully control. Good. Bending your knees. Step your feet into the mat. Excellent. Interlace the fingers behind the back of your head and then lift up head, neck, and shoulder blades, squeezing your knees in towards your nose. Extend your left leg forward, left elbow presses into the right knee, and then switch. So this is the one in the training, you guys, today that like everybody was trying to do it like super, super fast, right? I would actually really prefer to do a couple of these slow with control and maybe notice where I have an opportunity to build a little bit more strength or find a little more balance through the spine. Good job. So don't rush through it. And we're going to go 3, scissor it out, 2, and 1. Good. Let's draw the left knee in towards the chest, lower it all the way down. Right leg is straight. And then please take a twist. Roll to the outside edge of your right hip. And the left arm can expand and extend away from you. I'm trying to keep good on my promise to you guys that we're going to do some effort, that balance between pleasure and pain, letting the belly soften, letting your breath open up. And so maybe after using the core muscles a little bit, we can appreciate the ability to soften and let go. Inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Knees draw in towards your chest. Interlace the fingers behind the back of your head. Let's curl upper back and hips up off the mat. And then this time, right leg extends, right elbow top touches left knee. Push your low back down. Can you really challenge yourself to keep your entire upper back off the mat and go ahead and pedal it out? 10, 9. Good. I like to pretend like I'm kind of pulling one knee towards me as I'm pressing the other knee away. So like they're moving, they're kind of scissoring away from each other, right? So keep an awareness through both legs and let's go 5, 4, 3, smooth kind of simultaneous action, 2, 1. Draw the right knee in towards the chest, left leg fully extends, inhale. And exhale, take that right knee across the body over to the left and find your twist. So potentially even like closing your eyes here. 3, inhale. Exhale for 2, soften the belly, breathe in and breathe out. Good, come back to center, step both feet into the mat, and then please cross left ankle over the top of your right knee. Extend your right leg straight up towards the ceiling. Okay, interlace the fingers behind the back of your head and lift your head, your neck, and your shoulder blades. Okay, so try to keep the head lifted the whole time. Lower your right leg down towards the floor, hovering it over the sticky mat. and then pull it up, and can you lift your hips up off the mat for just a moment? Good. And then lower the leg. So that's one. So I'm going to try to keep my head and shoulder blades up the whole time. Lift the leg, lift the hip for two. Good. Using the entire. So I'm looking forward, upper back off the mat, and you lift and curl up for three. Inhale. Really nice work, you guys. Four, curl the tailbone up. Keep the upper back off the mat. And five. Good. Bend your right knee, lower your head down. Take your left hand, thread it through the hole. Interlace your fingers over your right knee and draw it in for thread the needle pose. Yep, so this figure four. And soften the breath out. You might have to specifically remind yourself to relax the abdominals. So in my own practice, you guys, if I'm always just pushing, right? I may not want to get on my mat, but if I can find this nice balance between doing the work and then softening, you kind of invite that balance back into your body. Breathe in and breathe out. Release, change side, step both feet into the mat. Right ankle crosses over the left knee. Interlace the fingers behind the back of the head. So we're going to do the hard part first. So extend the left leg straight up towards the ceiling. I like to flex my foot. It keeps more energy in it. And then I start by lifting up my head, my neck, my shoulder blades, and I kind of commit to staying there in the upper body. That should get your upper abdominal wall. And then lower your left leg, hover, inhale, and then squeeze it all the way up. And can you lift your hips up off the mat even for just a millisecond? Excellent. I saw that. Good. And then lift it back up for two. Inhale. So it's pretty easy to swing the leg with momentum. Try to control it with the core for four. Inhale. And back up for five. I hope you guys feel that a little bit tomorrow. Bend your left knee, release the head, and right hand threads through the hole. Interlace the fingers over the top of the left knee and draw in. So I'm not sure if I can fully see Zelda. Yeah, okay. As long as your head and neck is relaxed, right? I think it's good. And just let your shoulders soften. Come up to the back of the hips, the back of the sacrum, the bottom tip of the sacrum. Can you connect to the mat as you draw in, releasing the stress out of the hips? Inhale. And exhale. Good. We're going to do one more here. Extend your legs straight up towards the ceiling. Okay. Extend your arms straight up. Take Kali Mudra, right? So Kali Mudra is when we interlace the fingers and we release the index finger free. Lower your right leg down towards the floor. Hover it over the sticky mat. Trying not to let your low back lift. And then lift up your upper back and twist to the left, bringing your right tricep to the outside edge of your left knee. Good. Keep your upper back lifted and then switch. There we go. Reach, point your fingertips to the top corner of your mat and switch. Excellent. Let's keep the upper back lifted as we rotate. 5, 4. I'm hugging both legs, both knees, both ankles to the midline. 3, right? Can you pull your legs through the air so they're actually working as they switch? 2, both shoulder blades are up. And 1. Now keep your legs. I'm going to lower my right leg down. And it's your choice, you guys. I'm going to use my right hand on the outside edge of my left foot and then come into that full multi. So I know, Maria, you've got the bed there. If you want to bend your knee, right, but come into another twist of some kind and think from the core of your pelvis, from the middle of your hips. I think like a star here. And I try to kind of radiate and extend out in all directions. I don't exactly know what you guys have at home, but like I've got a wall here next to me and how much feedback I get from pushing my foot into the wall and trying to rotate more. Inhale. Let there be some softening, some letting go. Exhale. Come back to center, both legs straight up. Scissor the legs together. Take Kali Mudra, please. And this is going to be our last one from here. So I lift up my head, my neck, my shoulder blades. I lower my left leg forward and I really try to get my left tricep to the outside edge of that right knee. And then scissor kick with 10, 9, control. Not sure if you guys have ever done like reformer Pilates, right? But how like the cables kind of offer you some like resistance because you find your own inner resistance into the core for 6, 5. So as my core gets more tired, I feel the shoulder blades dipping down into the mat. Let's pull in tight here for 3. Nice job. Use your breath. Exhale, exhale, exhale for 2 and 1. Good. Lower your left leg all the way down. Left hand can grab the pinky edge side of your right foot or ankle, and then roll outside edge of your left hip, coming into that full twist. And I know if you're in a tight space though, but sometimes I like maybe you could put your hand on the bed frame, Maria, and you could like kind of push into it and see if that gives you some feedback. Right. And I don't know, Selda, if you can reach that mirror, but maybe it's nice to push the leg into the mirror and use that to rotate your spine. 1. Clear it out. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Breathe in. And breathe out for 3. Bend the knee as you come back to center. And then hug both knees in towards your chest and rock up to find seated. Yeah, thumbs up. We're doing okay, Selda. That's all right. Good core work. Soften up. Good. All right. The hands are going to be back behind us. Nice slight bend to the elbows, knees together, and then hover your legs forward right over the floor. Okay. And then legs straight, legs straight up and lower down. So yeah, Maria, use your hands back behind you. Exactly, like a nice amount of support. So that we're gonna do one with straight legs, hover, and then do one with bent knees, squeezing in. So we start to get more spine. Good, extend the legs forward, hover, and then straight legs up. That should help you to use your hip flexors. And then the legs come forward and we crunch in. 2. Inhale, straight. Exhale, pull the belly button back towards the spine, lift the legs and lower. That's your inhale. The exhales are the contraction, the tuck. That should be 3. 2 more. Inhale. Lift from the strength of your quadriceps. Good. Hugging the feet into the midline here. Squeeze the knees together, belly button back towards your spine for 4. Inhale, legs straighten. Exhale, please pull that all the way up. Good job, you guys. I like to look forward and then draw the knees in. Big tuck. Release, cross your ankles, plant your palms, and press back. Downward facing dog. Okay, so I don't know for you guys, but maybe compared to some other yoga conditioning, that's kind of a nice place to start. There's some warmth there. Paddle out your legs. Maybe see if at the bottom of your exhale, you could practice a little more Uddiyana Bandha. So Uddiyana Bandha is that complete exhale and feeling like you're vacuuming your belly button back in and up. Inhale and exhale. Shift that forward into plank pose. Okay. So from plank pose, we're going to drop both heels over to the left. So that's called your walking Vatsasana, right? We're on the pinky edge side of the left foot. We're on the inner edge of the right foot. And then right arm goes up. And we're going to bend both knees. And we're going to come down into that kind of like clamshell. This is going to be our inhale. And then as we exhale, draw your left knee in towards your chest, squeezing your inner thighs together. Can you guys straighten your left leg? Squeezing your inner thighs together so that left leg hovers. Bend your left knee, set it back down, bend both knees. That's your clamshell. Inhale. And then right leg straightens and left knee draws in towards your chest, or maybe you extend it up towards the ceiling. 1, bend the right knee, tap it down, clamshell. Inhale, clamshell. Exhale, left knee pulls up in towards your chest. Maybe the left leg extends. Pause and hold. Left knee bends. Bring it back, clamshell. Inhale. Right knee draws up towards right armpit. Maybe you hold there in Vasisthasana, or you extend the leg. 2. Last round, right foot down. Bend the knee, clamshell. Inhale. Left knee in towards your chest as you exhale. Extend the leg, let it lift. Bend the knee, clamshell. Inhale, knees open wide. Use the glutes to externally rotate your legs more. And then right knee in towards your chest. Plant your palm, press back, downward facing dog. Good job. Yep, so starting to get more outer hips and obliques there. From your down dog, inhale, shift forward into plank. Put your knees down onto the mat, trying to stay in a straight line. From the knees to the hips to the shoulders. Yep, so there you go, Selda. Yep, get that little slight tuck of the tailbone. And then you're gonna lower down towards the chaturanga, and can you pulse? 3, 2, 1. Lower your hips down. Inhale, cobra. Good, stretch the abdominals there. Hips up and back. Downward facing dog. So that's gonna be our movement. Inhale, forward into plank. Take your time. Knees down, try to be in a straight line from your knees, outer hips, outer shoulders, outer ears. Bend your elbows to where you can control and pulse. 3, 2, 1. Lower your hips down. Nice job, Maria. Inhale, cobra there. Full length of the abdominal. Exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog for 2. One more full round, please. Inhale, pull that forward. I like to find a lot of connection from the heels through the legs to the crown of my head, putting some awareness there. Knees down. Try not to break through your low back. Try to keep that very stable. Bend your elbows and let the pulse come from the strength of your upper arms. 3, 2, 1. Drop the hips. Inhale, open your chest fully. And exhale to press back. Downward facing dog. Okay, we go on to the second side. Inhale, forward into plank. Drop both heels over to the right. Left arm extends up towards the ceiling. And then you bend both knees towards the back of your mat as you sit your hips down. Yep, and you can really let them sit in touch. Good. That's your inhale. And then as you straighten the top leg, right knee comes in towards your chest. Good, Maria. Yep, pull that in. Maybe you can kick it out, floating it there. Right knee bends. And then right ankle crosses behind your left. Clamshell, tap it down. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the bottom leg and squeeze the top left knee in towards your armpit. And so it's that top leg, it lifts up. 1, bend the left knee, step the left foot down in front of the right ankle, and tap the hip. Inhale, clamshell, knees wide. Exhale, it's the bottom leg, right knee pulls in towards your chest. Kick it out straight away from you, hovering fallen triangle. Bend the right knee, sit it all the way back down at the back of your mat, clamshell. Inhale. Now focus on the top leg. You straighten the bottom leg and you squeeze the left knee in towards your armpit, left knee up. Maybe you kick it up, bend the left knee, sit it down. That's 2, you guys. Last one. Inhale, nice and slow and controlled. Inhale. Exhale, right knee in. Push the floor with your right shoulder as you kick. Perfect. Bend it. Sit it back down, halfway there, almost. Inhale, looking good. Bottom leg straightens, left knee pulls up, and possibly kick it up and out. Bend your left knee, plant the palm, downward facing dog. Okay, so that's a lot of like obliques, obviously, and a really nice connection to your inner thighs. Inhale, forward into plank. Now in one piece, bend your elbows over all the way down onto your sticky mat. Point toes, inhale, cobra. Exhale, lift hips, downward facing dog. Just a little more flow. Inhale forward, right? So use that little bit of heat. Bend elbows, drop to the belly. Rack the shoulder blades in. Inhale, cobra as you press down through the tops of your feet. Exhale, up and back. Downward facing dog. And one more. Inhale forward, please. Exhale, bend elbows, lower slow. Inhale, Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Letting the breath go. So do you always find yourself like always over efforting, always like, I don't know, like type A personality, right? Like always pushing. If it's not painful, if you don't get enough sensation, right? It's like, it's always like more is more. Could you be a little bit sweeter, a little bit softer here as you walk your hands back towards your feet at the back of your mat? Good. Hands to shins, inhale to look forward. And exhale, take a nice deep forward fold out over your legs here. Stretch your hamstrings. Hands to hips, elbows up, flat back, lift to stand. Okay, so whichever is easiest for you to take a nice wide step on your mat. Okay, so probably Maria, probably is easiest for you to like face the face your wind. I think that's windows there for you. And then we're gonna take the arms up, Salda. So let's take the arms up overhead. Okay, and then you're gonna take one foot. It doesn't matter which one. Tap it next to the other and sit a little bit down into a chair. Okay, good. And then open it back up. Inhale, take the other foot, opposite one, tap it and sit down into your chair. Open it up nice and wide, heels in, toes out, and drop down into your goddess pose and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, good. 6, fire up your glutes and your hamstrings. 5, 4, 3, straight arms if you can. 2, 1, straighten your legs, parallel your feet. One foot step to the other, doesn't matter. Sit, Utkatasana. Good, drop low into your hips. Step it open with control. Inhale. Opposite foot, tap, touch. Drop down, sit low into your Utkatasana. Keep your chest lifted, arms next to your ears. And then step that open. Good. Heels in, toes out. Drop down into your goddess squat. This time, you guys interlace your fingers and send your palms up. Press your knees open wide. Pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Good. 5, a little lower. 4, 3. We don't have any jumping today, so use this for your power in your legs. Press to stand. Parallel your feet. We have one more round. Inhale. Exhale. Step together. Challenge yourself. Weight is in the heels. Try not to let the chest drop. Nice, Maria. Pull the thumbs back. Open the chest. Step it open, please. Inhale. Reach. Opposite foot step. Sit down into your chair. Lighten your toes. Nice brightness through the heart. Inhale. Exhale. Step that open nice and wide. Heels in, toes out. Bend your knees, goddess pose. This time, please interlace the hands behind the back of your head. Soften your shoulders and left elbow, tap, touch, left knee. 1. Yeah, inhale, center. Exhale, opposite direction. 2. Inhale. 3. Nice. Smooth it out. Inhale, center. 4. We're only going to go to 6. So you have one more full round. Stay in your legs, please, if you can. Tap, touch, a little bit lower. So remember, hard things, we try to make them go over quickly. Try to stay with it with your breath. And back to center. Beautiful. Straighten your legs, you guys. Parallel your feet. Hands to hip. Now let's take a nice sweet stretch for the backs of your legs. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, fold in. I like to grab my big toes, you guys, in a yogic toe lock. It just gives me some feedback. Inhale, open. And then as you're ready, bend your elbows. Fold in. This is the pose in this teacher training. I'm trying to teach everybody here that instead of first just going for stretch, think about lifting your kneecaps. Think about engaging your quadriceps. Like get muscular energy into the pose, like you're squeezing your feet together and your shins together. And then once you find that power, then press out, then try to find a deeper stretch. Good. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to lengthen, half flat back. Hands to your hips as you lift to stand. Step forward, top of your sticky mat. Okay, here we go. Left knee comes in towards your chest. Left ankle over the top of your right knee. Sit down and low, arms up into your awkward chair. 1. Inhale, tailbone curl slightly forward. Exhale for 2. So sometimes you guys, when I move fast, I love it for like the cardio aspect, right? But then there's also this full idea that when we go really, really slowly, there's a different type of strength that's required. Push from your right hip into your right foot, left knee in towards your chest. Inhale. Good. Can we keep that left knee lifted as high as our left hip? And then extend your left leg and hold. 5, 4. Excellent. 3, keep reaching up. 2, hug the legs to the midline, squeeze your inner thighs. Bend the knee and release. Good. Inhale. Stand tall in your mountain pose. As you exhale, feel the connection of your feet to the mat. No need to rush. Okay. Hands at your hips. Right knee draws in towards your chest. Right ankle over the top of your left knee. And then as your hips sink down and back, arms up. So like a one-legged awkward chair here. Keeping the chest lifted. 1. Could even maybe feel a little bit good into that right hip as you feel it stretch. So right hip is opening, left hip is getting stronger. Find that balance, pleasure and pain. 3, 4, 5. Right knee draws back up in towards your chest. Can you use your quadricep muscle to straighten your right leg? Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, C variation. Try not to lean back. Try to stand up nice and tall. 2 and 1. Perfect. You guys bend the knee. Step it back together. Tadasana. Together. Inhale, arms up, full stretch. Exhale, bend knees, soften, fold, and let that go. Inhale to lengthen, half flat back. Exhale, step back. Chaturanga. Now you can put your knees down, but could you do that little pulse? 3, 2, 1. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, up dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. As you exhale, right foot steps forward up in between your hands, lunge. Back left heel spins to flat. Lift to rise, warrior 2. So sometimes these trainings, you guys, they really, really remind me that sometimes these simple, straightforward poses, this huge hip opener. If I really focus on my right leg being stable and instead try to control the movement through my hips, scooping the lower abdominals up and really trying to turn my left hip back, my left ribs back, there gets to be this big broad opening through the inner right thigh and across the front of your pelvis. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat, pause, low lunge, and take a Vasisthasana, stacking the feet, stacking the hips, holding there. 1. Inhale, so a little less movement, focusing on stabling your outer hips. And think of that principle, root to rebound. So the more you push down into your left hand, can your right arm reach up? Right hand to the mat, plank pose. Good, you guys, find your plank. You can always put your knees down. Take a few pulses at the bottom. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, up dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward up in between your hands. Use your core to pull it there. Nice elbow. Spin the left heel to flat. Let's stay low into this and lift to rise. I always imagine pulling the back right foot forward. So I get more support through the inner right thigh, controlling the pelvis, but softening your shoulders. Use this as a hip opener. 3, 2, full stretch, expand from the heart to the fingertips, hands to the mat, low lunge. As you pivot, turn to the pinky edge side of your right foot, stacking that up, Vatsisthasana. Get into the obliques there, 1. Notice if the top left hip has a tendency to roll open, try to stack top hip onto bottom hip, top lung onto bottom lung. Hand to the mat, plank pose. Inhale, plank. Last time, take your little pulse. 3, 2, 1. Lift back up to center, upward facing dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look at your head. Let it go, open up the breath. Inhale. Exhale. Your choice, step or jump to the top of your mat. Feet come together as you inhale to open. Exhale, fold in. Hands to hips, elbows up, flat back. Lift to rise. This is our last round, you guys. I'm just going to turn towards you, give you a little bit better of a maybe viewpoint. We're going to take the arms out to the sides. If you guys can do it from here, it might set you up on your mat a little bit better, but whatever you need. Okay, so the hands are out to the side. You're going to pull your right knee up in towards your chest. And then right knee out to the side. And instead of getting to put the foot on the thigh like we would in a tree pose, can you keep your hands as high as your elbows and your elbows as high as your shoulders and lift that right knee up? Yeah, good. So what it should be doing is actually really, really strengthening that left outer hip and glute. Notice if you tend, I'm kind of leaning to one direction. Can you stand tall in the middle and use the oblique in the hip flexor to drive that right knee up? And then for the last little bit, if you'd like to grab that right big toe in a yogic toe lock and extend up and out here for Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana B. Little more stretch for your inner adductors. That's all right. Yeah, 3. Yeah, go for the stretch. 2. Right, sometimes we just need to take the bounce out of it and then come out, you guys, exactly how you came into it. Be mindful. I like to enter poses. It's like watching a movie in rewind. Good. So it should actually be strong work for your deltoids too. Last side, here we go. Arms up. Really pull the length from the core, legs together. And left knee in towards your chest. And the other point of pausing lets you like realign, right? Maybe you notice that you kind of compensated somewhere. Keep the arms lifted from the strength of your shoulders. Take your left knee out to the side and use your oblique, use your hip flexor. And can you get that left knee to touch your left elbow? Eyes are bright, standing tall, lots of power from the outer hip. 3, 2, try not to lean too far to the right, Zelda. It's okay, I know it's challenging, but try to come to the middle. And then left 2 fingers can grab your left big toe, yogic toe lock. And let's come in for your full stretch. Here, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Yes. Come out of it the way you came into it, you guys, with that same amount of control. Very good. Left arm lifts, squeeze there. Knee comes to the midline. And release. Yeah, should feel good on the shoulders, so let that go. Top of your sticky mat, last flow. From the top of your mat, let's firm in through our core. You guys started class with all that. So there's 2 words, sukha, S-U-K-H-A, or dukkha, D-U-K-H-A. Are you suffering, right? Is it painful? Or can you find the sukha, the sweetness? Inhale, full stretch, arms up. Exhale, nice Maria. Bend your knees, fold in Uttanasana. Let your hamstrings lengthen as you inhale, open, half flat back. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Just a regular chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva. If you guys have it in you, can you reverse the movie back to a chaturanga? Press to plank, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward up in between your hands. Left heel spins to flat. From the ground up, triangle pose. Yep. So we basically just did this pose standing. You're holding onto the big toe. You were stretching the leg away from you, and then open the top hip. One. Inhale. If you want any core, left arm over your left ear. Press your tailbone towards your back left heel. Anchor through the low back. And then could you lift the bottom arm? 3. Nice, Zelda. 2. Yeah, extending out. Beautiful. You guys bend that right knee. Low lunge. Pause. Yogi's choice. Right hand grabs your right big toe. Good. Yep, nice, Maria. Good. You could grab your right big toe, yogic toe lock, or your right knee. Final pose on the right side, either Vatsisasana B variation or holding the knee. It's the same idea. 3, 2, 1. Step it to plank. Inhale, plank. Find your movie. Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, please. Upward facing. Maybe you reverse it to chaturanga. Plank pose. Downward facing dog. Stiram, Sukham, Asanam. So your practice should be steady. Steady for me is slow and mindful and sweet. I think there should be a little bit of pleasure and ease. Last side, please. Left foot steps forward up in between your hands, lunge. Back right heel spins to flat. From the ground up, you build your triangle pose. Okay, yep, really nice. And so we push from the core of our pelvis through the feet. We anchor into the feet. And then before I add the core here, it's really important for me to make sure that my low back is long. Like I'm really pulling my tailbone towards the back right heel so that then the right arm can extend over the right ear and the left arm can lift and maybe you can hold. 3, keeping that twist open. 2, it's a really strong pose as you try to open and stack right lung on top of left lung and then release. Hands to the mat. Lift the back heel. Your choice. Grab your left big toe in a yogic toe lock or your left knee as you open up into Vatsisasana. Good. So we did a lot of that strength in those clamshells of strengthening the outer hip as you extend up. How's your breath? 3, 2, 1. Release. Hand and foot to the mat. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, please. Full Urdhva. Maybe stay for a breath there. We did a ton of core. Okay, so let that lengthen. Come back. Chaturanga. Plank pose. And hinging up and back. Downward facing dog. Knees to the mat. Child's pose. Hips all the way back to your heels. Holding and letting your belly soften. So I have this quote. You guys know I write everything down, right? Like, so I have this quote in front of me today that says, "The secret to success is learning how to use pain and pleasure. Instead of having pain and pleasure use you." So I think a lot of times we let these two extremes, we let them create excuses for ourselves in our lives. Right? Instead of when something is difficult, maybe using that challenge for growth and when something is like really pleasurable, remembering to have gratitude for it. But on all these extremes of sensations, we can really learn from them. Inhale and exhale. And rolling up through your spine. So I'm going to finish here by turning to the long edge side of my mat, right? Maria, it might be helpful again for you to turn towards the windows, I think those are, right? So you kind of have the long edge, okay? And this is a very soft, like mild version to come into pigeon poses. So what we're gonna do is my feet are flexed. I'm on the pinky edge sides of the feet. And this allows my inner knees to really be in line with my inner ankles, right? And you can kind of pull. And for a lot of people, this is where you could actually have some more control through the pelvis so that you're not rocking back on the sitting bones, right? You're actually hinging forward. And then for me, I'm going to go right knee first, right? Right knee down, inner left knee rolls in. So that's that 90-90 shin box. And so these can be also nice ways for you to practice like with the hips. So there's less corking on the hips. And then fold out over the right thigh, right? So I really bring my belly button in my chest over the right knee and fold in. So the whole point of it, you guys, is for it to be a little bit more mild, maybe a little more approachable. I definitely still, if I keep that, right shin quite active and squared, I still get quite a nice kind of feeling of spreading and opening across the back of the pelvis. Hmm. Is there any place where the breath kind of gets stuck? You smooth that out. Walk yourself back up to center. Take that shin box, let it open up, that external rotation of your hips, and then shin box to the opposite side. So it's actually just very good, right? Internal rotation of that back hip. Turn the belly, turn the chest, and fold over your left thigh. So I actually really try to seal that down. Excellent. Yep. So two things, right, that we're probably going to have coming in, like arising and dissolving throughout our entire lives. This feeling of pleasure, this feeling of pain, observing, witnessing your relationship to it. Maybe that kind of steady observer. Inhale, exhale, push yourself back up to center. And then when you're ready, you're going to open your arms, open your legs to come and lie down for Shavasana. Mm. Letting there be a heaviness to your eyelids. What does it feel like to, like around your temples? Often going deep into the inner ear. When you get quiet, when you get still, You notice where the inhale, where it kind of begins, where it crests, where the inhale comes to its peak, where the exhale begins, and where the exhale ends. Where does the inhale, where does it originate in your body? And where does it end up? Letting your awareness follow that for 1 minute, where the breath begins and where it ends. And as you try to maintain, hopefully, a little bit of like sweetness, that's the sukha left in your practice. At the end, you start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and stretching your arms up overhead. Good. We'll bend the knees, roll to the right, and press up to flying seated. Right? Like the core doesn't want to pull us up one more time, and then hands in front of the heart. So in Sanskrit, sukha, dukkha, sweetness, suffering, right? Paying attention how much you let both of those kind of pull you through your life, and trying to find that center, that balance where we really learn. Taking your thumbs to your third eye, please bow forward to seal your practice. Jai, Siddhatma. There we